Her son's been missing for months, last seen in a rental car.
The car has been tracked across Chicagoland, but no sign of Eddie Gardner. With time ticking away, CBS 2 political investigator Dana Kozlov found that Hertz and police are just pointing fingers at each other.
I'm in limbo. I don't know what happened to my son. I don't know if he's still alive or if he's dead.
Eddie Gardner's mother, Sandy, has been in that tortured state of limbo for almost 2 months, since March 8th, the last time she spoke to her 22-year-old son, who vanished days later.
Just keep him busy takes my mind off of it during the day, but the nights are hard.
But Gardner's family believes he was active and still driving the Dodge Charger like this one he rented from Hertz in Bolingbrook until March 13th. His sister Jessica went into his phone log and says March 13th is the last time his phone was used. She then hacked into Eddie's Waze app
and saw the navigation history,
which put Eddie's last known location at 131st and St. Lawrence on Chicago's far south side. Sandy Gardner says she filed a missing persons report in Oswego, where he used to live with her, and began emailing Hertz,
begging them to track the car or report the car stolen, and Hertz wouldn't respond to me.
Then Eddie's rented Charger turned up in Hammond, Indiana, involved in a March 29th hit and run.
There was an empty shell casing on the floor and a tire shop receipt from the day before.
Do you believe that Eddie Gardner is the victim of foul play?
We're very concerned. There's just a point where his pattern of normal behavior stopped.
But even though Oswego police processed the now damaged Charger for evidence, Oswego's Deputy Chief Brad Delphi says they can't submit the evidence to the crime lab until it's determined a crime was committed in their jurisdiction. Sandy Gardner says police told her Hertz declaring the car stolen would help. A Hertz spokesperson says police need to submit a formal request for that. Delphi says Bolingbrook police would be in charge of doing so.
At that time, Bolingbrook would then have a crime to investigate, and then they could take appropriate steps in the investigation that they deem necessary.
Except Bolingbrook Police Captain Anthony Columbus tells us Oswego would be the lead department. He says Oswego has never contacted Bolingbrook for help, adding a missing persons case alone should be enough for Oswego to get a search warrant to submit evidence. So where does all of this finger pointing really leave Eddie Gardner's mom and sister? Stuck. That is until either a police department or Hertz finally takes the next step. However, the deputy chief here believes more will develop in this case. In Oswego, Dana Kozlov, CBS 2 News.
Greetings and salutations, friends. Welcome to today's read. This one's a little bit messy, so I'm going to have to go by notes on this one. It's got some really the parts that I just, Mr. Garner, 21 from Indiana. The last was heard from on March the 13th of this year. It states he may have been heading to Griffith, Indiana. Now, his friends say that the last seen location for him was at a residence in Bolingbrook. That would have been that Sunday night. But an acquaintance reported seeing him the evening of the 13th in Woodlawn, which is a neighborhood that's notorious for gangs and gang activity. Law enforcement has 2 aliases that he is also known to go by. Now, this was on March the 13th. And on April the 11th, the vehicle that he was driving, which was a rental, he had rented from Hertz, was located 4 hours away in Hammond, Indiana, involved in a car wreck. It's reported that 2 occupants fled the scene, but gas station surveillance video shows a black man wearing gloves 5 minutes before the crash. There was a shell casing found in this car, and according to an interview that his mother done, two puzzling pieces of this for me, two big questions. is she states that she got in contact with Hertz, the people that owned the rental car that her son was renting, to let them know what had happened. But number one, they didn't respond to her. They never responded to her. And number two, according to the police, which police department, Hertz is not and has no intentions to my knowledge, of reporting this car stolen. Now, why? That's odd in itself. Then, along with the two police departments that is arguing and pointing fingers at one another on whose case this belongs to. That's just two big odd ones here. So, now this is going to be most definitely two different readings on this, because from everything that I've read and the news clip that I saw, I have got way more questions than can be done at one read. So before we even get to what happened to him and where he may be possibly, or any evidence linking to him, we have to know how to put the puzzle together. So now this one is not going to get in touch with or have answers for what happened to him specifically or where he may be. This is just leading up to what's happened to him. Edward Garner. It's situations like this that really intrigue me. It's just how fast you can go from point A to point C. Plans going awry, delaying plans. My heart broke for his mother and his sister too. You can tell they've really been affected by his disappearance. Okay. Here we go. Right. So, start with the obvious. The reason he was headed to Griffith. Number two, the reason Edward was in Woodlawn. Now, not to be racist here, and we're just stating the obvious, because if you aren't familiar with these areas, then it wouldn't seem like a big deal to you, but Edward was a very white boy, and Woodlawn is not a place where a young white boy needs to be. Now, that's just, we're all born to go places, but just not some places, and that's one of them. There's always places that certain people cannot go or do not need to be going, have had no business at, and it goes for everybody. But now in this instance, this is him. He had no business in Woodlawn if he didn't live there, and he didn't. What was the need? Why? Edward had two aliases. Circumstances on how the rental car ended up 4 hours away in Hammond. How the man on the video before the car crash came into possession of this rental. Circumstances surrounding the shell casing found in that car. Why won't Hertz respond to the boy's mother? What's Hertz's deal here? Okay. Why won't Hertz report the car stolen? You'd think that would be their first thing to do, so they recover assets, because I reckon that car was tore all to pieces. Why the police departments are pointing fingers at each other and no one is accepting this case. And open. Now, why was Edward headed to Griffith? It's going to be the tower reversed. That signifies delaying the inevitable, taking responsibility where you're blameless, your fears materializing, and this impact being sudden and dramatic. See, it didn't say that he even made it to Griffith, just that he was headed to Griffith. Let's clarify on that. Ace of Swords reversed. That's conflict and arguments. This card predicts a battle that cannot be won. It suggests that you withdraw because it's a decision that's gone against you. It's not being able to stand your ground. All right, while he was in Woodland, the Queen of Pentacles. Normally aspected as a female, but it's also taken on the traits of looking for or the intentions of having social status, being successful. It's having the affinity for the finer things in life. I don't see this boy on his own going to Woodland to a known gang area. For these things unless he's got a friend with ties to Woodlawn. I keep saying Woodland. And would happen to be recruiting him for a gang. Let me clarify. Magician, power, influence, time for action. It's making the most of your skills, stepping into your power. Shows a significant journey, inspired leadership from an enthusiastic individual. Yep. This looks to me like he's got him a friend with ties there that he was riding in on the coattails of. Now, going on to why he had the two aliases, it's going to be a Two of Cups. It's inspiring partnerships. Old arguments coming to a resolution and harmony returning. Well, he's made so much. I guarantee he's got a police record under his name, Eddie Gardner. Either that or he's got a police record under the alias. It's one of the two. Because going by a different name is separating him from whatever deeds he's done under whatever name. Now on how the rental car wound up in Hammond. Wheel of Fortunes, indicator of luck. The universe working in favor to help you with your intentions on what you truly want. And it's the Karma card. I feel like this car was either chop shopped or street sold to just get it out of the area, get it away, get rid of the car. Now, how the man on the video come in possession of the car, that's the Nine of Pentacles. It's working very hard to create the success and status you want. It's, shoos. Yeah, this is gang related, definitely, 100%. Man on the video was just a henchman. He just clean up crew. I really don't think they meant to wreck the car, though. I think that just happenstance. Circumstances surrounding the shell casing is the Three of Cups reversed. It's an indulgent gone too far. Betrayal in friendships. It indicates backstabbing. Gossiping about your back, behind your back. People you thought were your friends sabotaging you. See, yeah, this looks like this is somebody that's been a friend for a long time. He's probably been friends with this guy since elementary school. That shell casing, I guarantee you if they test it, well, they wouldn't have the gun. But I guarantee you that is connected to Edward, 100%. Now, why Hertz won't respond or even acknowledge Edward's mother? It's going to be the King of Cups reverse. It shows someone lacking backbone. Dealing with someone who's volatile, destructive. You know, it's hard sometimes to really come to terms with the fact that so many organizations are influenced by gangs or have ulterior motives behind it, that this is gang pressure. Why they won't report the car stolen? That's Page of Pentacles. That's good news concerning finances and business. It's a job offer for someone in management and money and opportunities beckoning. So yeah, they've promised them a payoff or something to hold off on that. Now, as far as why the police department is not taking, any of the police department is not taking this case or not accepting responsibility for it and pointing fingers at each other, that's the Emperor's reverse. It's quite simply a controlling and disruptive influence. Once again, gang pressure. Now, on the open card, we've got 7 of Cups. That indicates decisions in your life that need to be made. It's when you're feeling like everything's up in the air, choices and confusion. I'm not sure what it's referring to. Some clarify on that. 8 of Cups. That's work and relationships or friendships appearing harmonious from the outside, but it's your intuition telling you on the inside it's otherwise. This is the end result of it being a departure. Show someone leaving a situation, moving on when they can gain no more. This person leaving quietly and swiftly, slipping away in the night, naturally feeling a fleeting bit of sadness, but little regrets. Abandonment. Abandonment is walking away from someone, turning your back on them. This is a Julius Caesar type situation. This friend that's got him hooked up in Woodlawn is Bruto. Stabbed him in the back for whatever reason. Had nothing else to benefit from him. Yikes. Yeah, that's definitely not a friend. But the thing about it is, you know, I feel like that they've been friends for a long time. So this wasn't been something that he would have seen coming from Brutus. Regardless, now that we know how it got to this point and what got it to this point, the next read we can find out what happened and where we can find Mr. Gardner. I want to thank you for taking the time for going through this reading with me. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye now.